What's going on, guys? Joe Cortez of Joe Co Productions. I want to share with you guys our rack setup that we've put together to make things a lot more efficient and also consistent with our setups for DJ. We take this everywhere. This has all of our essential tools that we need to get our laptop controller to speakers in a very, very quick way. It also makes things very, very quick on our setup and very quick in our teardown. So check this out. If you enjoy it, let us know what you think. All right, so we take out the front of the case here. Got two latches, comes in done nice and easy. We put this on our DJ table, and then this lid simply comes off. And then you have access to everything. So we start with our power conditioner. Everything that we use runs through our conditioner. This protects us from any surges. Also make sure that we are getting consistent power. It'll also show us how much power we're getting. Typically we want to get 120 volts. Turn that switch on. This will power everything up. We have our drawer right here, which is really nice. Let's open this up and see what's inside. So as we open the drawer, we have our laptop stand. And then we have a protective piece of foam here to keep the laptop stand from scratching up any cables or damaging anything. You want to protect all your equipment so it lasts a long time. And as you see, I have a dB reader, which is fantastic. So that way, just holds the integrity of what we're doing. I don't ever want to blast anyone's ears. One of the things to sound quality, but also want people to be able to feel the music. So that we can get it turned up. We start with a little short XLR. This allows me to go directly from this rack unit and go right into my monitor, which I'll share how that works in a minute. I carry I want to say this is a 8-foot headphone extender, so that way I can, if I'm running my in-ears, I can plug right into my controller and have some extra room to move around. Always have a charger for iPad, iPhone, anything you need to plug into a USB-C into. So keep that block there. We plug it in right here. We have our controller cable. So this goes from the laptop to the controller. Because we have a newer MacBook, we have to convert it to a USB-C, and I plug that in here. Also have 2 extra USB inputs, so that way if I'm wanting to run a hard drive in, I can run it through there, or any other accessory, everything goes into here. This also gives me the opportunity to plug in a Cat 5 cable. So if I do run our console through wireless internet, but for some reason I need to go directly into my laptop, I have the option to do it here with this adapter as well. Then you always want to carry an extra charger, so I got an extra iPhone charger here. I have so this is always a backup, and you'd be surprised how many times it's used, but I have an 1/8" cable, which allows an instrument or a DI to be plugged into our console. It's surprising how many times a musician will forget one of these, so it's nice to have one for them to help them out, become their hero if you ever need it. And then I have I think this is a 6-foot XLR, and what I keep this for is if for some reason I have to use my wired SM58, if the wireless mic isn't doing what it's supposed to, if I need a second mic, I have this cable I can plug directly into my console. So that goes to microphones. Always keep a wired SM58, good old trusty I've had forever. And up here, I have my wireless mic that's nice and fitted. Move this and kind of see how I've outfitted it there. I have 2 different lav mic options. I have a clip-on, and then I have a headset lav mic there, which works fantastic. There's a lav mic pack, wireless. I have 2 different adapters. I run a USB-C adapter, and then I also carry a lightning dongle. Speaking of adapters, we have an 1/8", quarter to 1/8", and then an 1/8" to quarter adapter here, and then 2 extra PowerCon adapters. Then as we move to the back, I have routed a 1/8" input that I can plug an iPad, I can plug a wireless mic, anything into this that goes directly in the console, and it can live in the drawer. And And of course, you always want to run with a Sharpie and a pen just in case you need it. People are always asking for these, so I keep these back here. And then my favorite pen, I always have a red pen, felt tip, so that way as I'm going through formalities when I'm doing weddings, I can cross things off and make it very, very visible to keep my place. Currently running a little Venue DMX controller. This just controls our uplights and really simple to use, lives in here in this case. And that's the rack drawer for you guys. Oh, no. Got an adapter for a XLR to 1/8 inch. Never know when you need these guys. And then last but not least, good old trusty multi screwdriver, 2 Phillips tips, 2 flathead tips. And that's our accessory drawer. Something I realized that's missing from my accessory drawer that I always keep in here are AA batteries and some 9 volts. I just need to go buy some. Matter of fact, I need to get some before this weekend for our next set of gigs. But I always try to keep an abundance of AA batteries. And it might be overwhelming how much we have in here, but the beauty of keeping everything that you just saw in this accessory drawer is now whenever you need something, it's quickly accessible rather than having to dig it out of a case that you have stored somewhere. It is all right at our fingertips. You know, typically this rack will be on a table that's about waist high, which puts our controller and our platters at a really nice level to mix and scratch and everything. And then this is right here in front of us. Also, what's really nice is these guys here pull out and gives us light, so that way the light shines in the drawer. So when we open the drawer, we have good lighting. Also, these make for a really good place to store your headphones. So I typically keep my headphones on here. And yeah, so that's that. Moving on, we have our console. Right now we're running the Behringer X Air 12, I believe it is. And this has been fantastic. It's nothing too fancy, but it gives us more than enough power to be able to have several inputs. As you can see, we have a lot of inputs going on here, which just gives us plenty of options. And in having this rack, all this stays plugged in and routed and is never getting unplugged, which gives it a lot longer shelf life. You know, moving parts tend to wear out over time, and when you're not having to unplug these and plug them in after every gig, it really increases the shelf life of this equipment. So I'll zoom in and show you guys what we're working with here. So this here's the X Air 12, and it's a wireless mixer console. So we have our Ethernet cable running out into our router in the back, which I'll share with you next. In the first 2 channels, what's nice is the first 4 channels have Midas inputs, Midas preamp inputs, which really increase the quality of the sound coming out of this mixer. The other inputs are fantastic, but these 4 I've noticed a dramatic difference in quality of sound. So I run a stereo left-right into our console, which goes out the back and as a quick input. Then in channel 3, I'm running my wireless mic, handheld mic. Channel 4, I got a wireless lav mic. And this would be the one that I would unplug if I ever needed to plug in my wired handheld mic. Next up, channel 5 and 6, I have a Bluetooth adapter, which is really good for cocktail hour and things like that. When I want to Bluetooth my iPad or phone, I can plug into here, or I use these 2 channels, which have a Bluetooth receiver here. See, I can probably not. I Velcroed this in here to make it accessible. But I did some research, and this seems to be a pretty good unit. This is a very, very powerful Bluetooth receiver. I haven't had any dropout experiences. Has a power in and then an 1/8 inch also RCA or optical. And it seems to work really well. I haven't had any issues with it. Like I said, really good for cocktail hour. Decent, I want to say it was 50 or 60 bucks. Nice little add-on to make things streamlined. That's Velcroed in there, it stays pretty good. Moving on, channel 7 and 8 was that 1/8 inch connection I have in here, which is an additional one. And then I have 9, 10, 11, and 12 inputs open right now. Moving on here, we have our outputs left and right. These go to our mains. And then I have 2 auxes out. I have aux 1, aux 2. Aux 1 goes to my monitor, so that way I keep a what do I have? I'm running a QSC 10, what is it, a K10 I'm running from my monitor. And then on the aux 2 send, I have a sub. This runs to my subs, so that way I have control over my subs over the tops. And what's nice about that is I have different EQ settings for each of them, so that way I can really do a nice high pass filter, low pass filter on the sub to keep the subs where I want it and really have complete control over everything going out. So that's that. I have a GTD wireless microphone unit. The left channel is my handheld. The right channel is the lav mic setup. And you know, I have always used Shure AKG and Sennheiser wireless mics in the past. However, I have a lot of people holding my mics. This was a very affordable solution for the time being until we upgrade into a Shure Sennheiser setup. But yeah, this is the front face of the rig. Again, everything is powered through the power conditioner up top, which I shared earlier. And let's go to the side and I'll show you the outputs. So now here is the right side of the case, which is really nice. I went ahead and wired these guys in here, so now I'm not having to dig in here and unplug and plug things in. So this is going to be my left top out, right top out, monitor out, and sub out. So now my XLRs go directly in here. As I was sharing earlier, I have a short cable for my monitor because my monitor lives right beside here. Simply plug in and then goes into my monitor. Nice and neat and concise right there. Once again, little wear and tear. Now everything is right here. I'm not having to dig around and mess with cables in there. Right here I have a cutout so that way I can run and pass through cables as well. And then down here I have a place where I plug all my power in and goes directly to the conditioner. We'll lower it down here and share it with you guys. So with this I can plug power in, so I find my power source and go directly from the power source into here. And I debated whether or not to put a Edison plug here or go with the PowerCon. I went ahead and went with the Edison plug because I can use different size extension cords depending on where I'm set up. I felt like I would be limited with a PowerCon in having multiple links. They also are quite a bit more pricey than your Edison cords. And with having the Edison connection here, once again, I can choose whether I want to run a 10-foot, 20-foot, 50-foot cable and it just be one piece. I have learned I'm not a big fan of running multiple extension cords because then that just leaves a space that someone can unplug that extension cord, trip over it, or just, you know, another place of faults by having multiple extension cords plugged in the ground. And also I don't like tying them in knots on the floor. It just looks tacky, especially when we're doing weddings. So it's nice to have it streamlined, have the appropriate length going straight into here. So once we plug in here, the entire rack's powered. It goes to the power conditioner and then everything comes out of there. And I'm gonna show you how everything comes out. So now we've come to the back side of the rack. Just like the front, it unhooks. And what's nice, I take this off and get set up and put it back on just to protect it, and that way nothing's getting in there, nothing's coming unplugged. So as we see here, they got the power conditioner up top while my power's come out and has split where it needs to go. Here's the drawer. Here I have my DMX line going in here. I have the 1/8 inch and power going in here. And then my console's back here. I have my wireless router right there, so that way it's nice and hidden, yet still gets great reception everywhere. And like I said, everything has an output place, so my monitor power comes out right here and can be plugged in directly. I also plug my laptop charger into this output here, so that way that's easy to get to. Once I've run everything, I'll plug in the laptop last and do that. Then here's power out. So this power out is going to be what powers our subs, our tops, and also the first DMX light. So this comes out here as well, passes through, and then go into the first DMX light. And I hardwire my DMX lights in. I don't use a dongle, only because these are going directly underneath my booth, which light up the facade. So first DMX cable comes out here and goes to the first DMX. Then I use 2 3-footers to connect the other two. And then of course, this is my 2 RCAs, which will go to my controller. They pass through right there. I will then plug in my laptop power, set that right here, and then it comes through and powers laptop. Once that's all set up, we close her up. And you don't ever see anything going through with the facade. Something you might notice is on our console, there are not actual faders on it because we do run a wireless console with the X-Air. Everything is controlled on the iPad, so we're not connected right now, but this is what the iPad interface looks like, which allows us to be able to adjust faders, adjust EQ, any effects are running through here as well. Also gives us an RTA so we can see the EQ levels of the room. And one thing, I do love actually having physical faders. I do miss that aspect, but in sacrificing that, it's nice to be able to go out into the front of house, into our audience, and hear what it sounds like and make adjustments there. Same thing when we're doing a ceremony and I have this rig, I can go be out in the congregation and be able to make volume adjustments, EQ adjustments, all by this simple iPad. And since we do have the Bluetooth connection, I can run the mixer interface here, split it over, and have my DJ Pro pulled up on half the screen and be able to run the audio out for music for whenever I'm doing a ceremony. Really awesome tool. Once again, having physical faders are fantastic, and there's not like the real touch of touching knobs and faders, but for the convenience, streamlining, being able to be anywhere in the room, this tool makes it really convenient. So that's our rig. I hope you got some value from it. If you've made it this far, we'd appreciate a like and a subscribe. We'll be trying to put out some more content to share value to the DJ and music community. Again, I'm Joe Cortez of Joe Co Pro. Thank you guys for watching. Have a blessed day.